Welcome to Radnor Studio 21's Commissioner's Corner. I'm Haley Erdlen, a proud resident of Ward 4 and Radnor Township. Radnor Studio 21 has recruited residents like me living in our beautiful township to speak to people who are decision makers who are voted into the position of managing our township. I'm here today to ask questions that you, the Ward 4 resident, would want to ask of your commissioner. As you probably already know, and I've mentioned, I am a Ward 4 resident, and I am here with our Ward 4 commissioner and also our president of the Radnor's Board of Commissioners, Lisa Borowski.
Hi, Haley. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
Happy summer.
Happy summer. Yeah, it's almost over.
I know.
I'm sad.
Radnor is less than 2 weeks from today.
From school starting?
From school starting. Yeah. Tuesday, September 3rd. New start times.
Yeah, at the high school and for
high school, middle, and elementary.
That's great.
Yeah.
I kind of...
You're out of it.
I'm a little out of it. Yeah, my boys start back. They've already both moved back to school. Cool. So, yeah, they start on Monday. My oldest is senior.
Wow.
Senior year of college, so it's exciting.
Wow. Well, we are indebted to all the hard work that you have done in the township, especially the last 6 months. There's been so much going on, and it's so nice to be here in August before the craziness of September to kind of recap on what's happening in not only Ward 4, but also Radnor Township as a whole. Mm-hmm. So let's just start. How about we talk about the spotted lantern flies?
Yikes. Yeah, so, many of Ward 4 constituents have written to me. They've sent me pictures, people who've been in Skunk Hollow and in Sawmill. Mm-hmm. I know, people have them at their residences as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've definitely moved their way over to our neck of the woods.
They have. Yeah.
So right now, the township people have asked, is the township spraying? Is the township going to do anything?
Or what's the county doing as well?
Yeah, so the county isn't doing anything and the township isn't either.
Okay.
I know our township manager, Bob Zankowski, they put an order in for that.
For the sticky tape. Right.
Yeah, and what they're planning, and it's on back order.
Of course.
And I think, though, right now, it's really not going to do a lot of good. I think what is most useful is when the nymphs are coming and then they crawl up the trees after they have hatched. Mm-hmm. So as soon as that tape is available, I was told we were going to make it available to residents who want to utilize it. So maybe people can take it and hold it until the early spring of next year. But yeah, they are definitely all over. We were out. I was out some residents' properties over by Sawmill, and they were there. People can certainly spray.
What do you recommend if you see one? I mean, I've seen both live ones in my backyard, I've seen dead ones. I have not seen any of the eggs, the larvae that they say you can find on the trees. But what do you recommend if a resident does see one?
So our John Hosbeck, our township, the arborist, he put up, so on the website, the township website, there is a plethora of information that he put together for people to read about ways to eradicate them. But what I'm hearing is that right now people, and I know you're also supposed to report it to the Penn State, the extension there, collecting all that information as well. Right. And I think a link to that is on the township website.
It is on the township website. Yeah, I've seen that. You want to report it, but if you can kill them,
absolutely,
on the spot. They're
get
tricky.
Rid of them. But they, and some people, they are actually kind of pretty, but they are doing. They're going to do damage. And, But what I heard is, they're starting to find these natural predators. The birds are starting to eat them.
So I did read that a specific type of bird is starting to eat them. I've actually found a few that were dead in my backyard. So I thought,
I'm hoping it's kind of like the stink bugs. Remember years when they first came out, they were everywhere.
Bad. Yeah.
And now
I don't
so much.
see them at all.
Yeah. So hopefully, before they do, this will happen before they do too much damage, because they can, be really damaging to crops and the farmers and people, wineries
and the fruit
and
trees.
Like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you're a resident and you see one and you have questions, go to the Radnor Township's website and you'll find a plethora of information. Okay, great. So moving on, and obviously getting here to meet was a hazard for both of us because there were lots of road closures, is the road repaving. What's happening now? What's coming up in the fall?
So, well, a lot of people have probably noticed, I know in our ward that, a lot of the residential streets have been repaved.
Yeah, which is great.
I know Milmar Road over by me in Ward 4 was just repaved the other day. So the township's repaving program is happening. So those are, the township-owned streets.
And you can find when your street's going to be repaved by going on the website, right? Have they published that yet?
I don't know if they have an exact list on the website. I can double check that, and I can send that out through my newsletter with information. But what they do is they're on a 12-year cycle. So, so now, so for instance, Milmar Road was repaved just the other day. I know in our area, Colony Road was repaved, as was... there was another road. Mount Parnasse was repaved. I think there's some others that are coming up in our ward. But so now those won't be repaved for another 12 years.
Right.
And the money we use to fund that program comes from the state, from the solid fuels tax that or the liquid fuels tax. So we use that money to repave the residential streets.
Yeah, it's great. We had ours repaved, I'd say, probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it's great.
Then you got 10 years, but they're trying to do it on a 12-year cycle.
Okay.
So that, everybody is getting repaved in a pretty regular fashion.
What about the potholes? I know Sproul Road was just repaved.
Yeah, so that's PennDOT. That
was amazing.
PennDOT, yes, that was really amazing. They finally came and did that. I know that Newtown Road, the last I heard from Jennifer O'Mara's office, who's been keeping watch on this for us,
great at it.
Is early October. Newtown Road is supposed to be repaved.
Okay.
And I know that Lancaster, so that may be what you and I got stuck in. I feel like they may have scraped at
they're scraping, and then they're doing a bit of work right now on Conestoga. I just known that a lot of residents, not specifically in Ward 4, but people who live more in downtown Wayne, have literally said, every single street in downtown Wayne is closed. And my thought is, it's August. They're scraping, they're trying to do patches, everything that they can before the craziness of the buses and back to school and everything. So
our hope is that Lancaster, the stretch from just above Villanova, so Bryn Mawr, like between Bryn Mawr and Villanova University, and coming all the way down is going to be repaved.
Yeah,
and that's the plan.
There's
PennDOT's
construction
plan
there now. That's great.
Yeah, so they might be doing like the pre-work right now. So hopefully, and I'll see if I can get an update and put that in the newsletter as well.
Sure.
And I know some people have written to me about Conestoga. Conestoga, which was repaved certain areas after a lot of aqua and
did their water lines,
work was done. There's going to be doing additional work on Conestoga. So Conestoga, kind of the parts that is in Ward 4, I guess between 320 and maybe Garrett Hill, that area.
It's going to be
They're going to be starting to do some more Pico. I think it's Pico gas lines are going to be going in.
Okay.
So to repave a lot of those roads when they're just going to be torn up again.
There's no point.
So, it is, we need to be patient. A lot of those roads are not township-owned roads, so that we are really at the mercy of PennDOT. And I would just say, as I've been saying to everyone, email our state reps. Jennifer O'Mara's office is very responsive. Greg Vitale, who's, represents parts of Radnor as well. And then certainly Senator Leach's office.
Senator Leach. And also, I think, just give yourself a padded extra 10, 15 minutes. I think there's just always some type of road closure or some type of repaving. I just try to pad in so that I'm not.
I wish I had done that today.
I didn't do it as well as I should have either, but I also didn't know about a road closure. Okay, thanks, Lisa. So let's move into, I think, especially in light of what's happened over the last few weeks, not only in Philadelphia, but in our country, is the gun legislation letter that the board voted on at your meeting, your most recent meeting. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So what we brought up, myself and Commissioner Larkin, who's vice president, and we had talked with John Nagel as well about this. There is a lot of concern. I don't know how, I'm sure you felt the same way. You just feel like, I need to do something. I want to do something. And I think I heard from, a lot of constituents about that. In Radnor, as a municipality, we really can't do anything.
You can't do anything, right?
We can't enact any laws or ordinances or anything that is more restrictive than what the state or the federal government already has. So I thought it would just be good for us to, at least as a board, join together and ask our township manager to draft a letter to our legislators who, and ask, actually not our particular legislators, I thought to the Senate and the House majority and minority leaders, as well as the leaders of the judiciary committees for each, the House and the Senate for Pennsylvania.
Sure.
There are 6 laws currently, or 6 bills currently sitting in the Senate and 1 in the House that deal specifically with gun ownership, background checks, the red flag law. There are multiple opportunities to do something. Enact 1, enact 2, all of them, but do something in order to make some changes. Here in Radnor, we've seen our own fair share of gun violence. Some of those things where, some of these laws may have helped
changed. Absolutely.
Make a change. So I just felt that, as a township representing, and these are bipartisan. There are ones introduced by Republicans in the Senate. Tom Killian has several. The one that's in the House was introduced by a Republican. There are ones introduced and co-sponsored by Democrats. There are ones that are co-sponsored by Democrats and Republicans. So it is a bipartisan issue, and I felt that our board could join together and at least send a letter, saying that we recognize there are things there. What can we do?
What bills can get pushed through?
Can you take action? Communities are looking for you to be leaders, and I think Radnor.
Well, and they're voted into power, so they should.
Exactly. So that letter is being drafted, and we did get consensus of the board. It wasn't a vote; it was consensus of the board.
It was a consensus.
For Mr. Zinkowski to write a letter. We will be reviewing that letter at the September 9th meeting, and then voting on whether or not to send it. My hope is that by then I've heard that there's a lot of action happening. That Governor Wolf made his own executive order around some of things that he could do in order to help make an impact. My hope is that maybe we don't need it by then. Things are moving, but I feel like people need to have a voice, and this is a way for us to join together.
For Radnor to contribute. And then Senate Judiciary Chairperson Lisa Baker, she had announced that her committee is holding hearings on behavioral health, mental health, the Second Amendment, and other gun issues on September 24th and 25th. Where is that going to be held? Do you know?
So those will be in Harrisburg. So that's the state Senate. That's great. And I was really glad to see that. I think that came the day after we had our conversation as a board. So, let's do something, and let's join together and say that this isn't about impacting the constitutional rights of anyone. It's not about gun owners, responsible gun ownership. It's about people getting guns that should not have guns.
Exactly. And if you're doing background checks, red flags, there are certain people who would not get an assault rifle.
I think that it might make it a little tougher. Will it absolutely
eradicate it? Who knows? But
hopefully it would make things a little tougher for people that to not have them who shouldn't.
And that's great. And just to be clear, the next Board of Commissioners meeting is on September 9th, on Monday, September 9th. Okay.
Yeah, we have a meeting on the 9th. We have a special board meeting of the Finance Committee that we've been having on the 16th, and we have a regular meeting on the 23rd.
On the 23rd. Okay. Yeah, now that summer is coming to an end, you will be having more commissioners meetings on Monday, because in the summer you only had, 3 or 4?
So in July we had 2, and then we've only had 1 in August.
So, So, all right, let's move right on. I would love to talk about the flooding and the stormwater projects. We've had some crazy storms over the last month, and the township has seen a lot of flooding. And, you're always great on your Facebook page about if there's a storm, do not go anywhere, do not drive through the water. So what do you want to talk about there?
So, I will say over where we, in Ward 4 where we are, and it's funny how these storms hit. And, sometimes, there was one where Wayne got hit really badly. And
it's always like a section in the township each storm, and then it's like pockets.
It's crazy the way that happens. I mean, I'll tell you the one that happened about 2 weeks ago that hit our area really hard. About 3.5 to 4 inches of rain fell in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Darby Paley Road was underwater. Literally, I've never seen it like that. I grew up over there. 40 years, I've never seen it like that.
Wow.
Bob Zinkowski said the same thing. In his 10 years, never seen anything like it. they had to effect water rescues on Bryn Mawr Avenue. That's like unheard of.
I saw that.
So it was an unprecedented, and sometimes that happens, that does happen. But, and there is no way that we would be able to affect infrastructure that would be able to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just, there's going to flood, it's going to flood.
Sure.
And then you just need to be smart, don't drive into it. But I was concerned, I'm like, how am I going to get home? Like, all of my ways home were blocked. There was no way for me. Do? I had to wait it out. I mean, it usually, it resides recedes pretty quickly. But, but what we are doing, and we continue to work on this, the flooding issues in Wayne, in North Wayne. We are waiting we should hopefully soon have a project for the parking lot in South Wayne that is right across the street from the firehouse and the school administration building. That parking lot is kind of a mess. It needs to be fixed up. There was plans to do that, but first let's do a stormwater project there, because the flooding that there's in front of that, it's bad. It's bad for the firefighters who are trying to get out. And so, apparently there was a holdup with PennDOT on that. I'm hoping that project is going to come soon, forward to the board soon for us to hopefully vote on it. And then there's some other projects. We have one in Ward 6 that we're going to be looking at. So my hope is that we have those projects, and then we just need to figure out how to fund them.
And how to sort of know what to do first and what's important.
Exactly.
And spread the wealth, right?
Yeah, definitely to spread the wealth. But I think we've kind of identified the areas that we need to address immediately, and definitely North Wayne, I think South Wayne area, and I know there's areas in Ward 6, an area in the West Wayne Preserve that we're going to be that we're looking at as well, where we have like significant flooding. So that are danger to home and resident and stuff like that. So we are looking at that, and then we continue to look at the dam over in our area, the Earls Lake Dam, the Summit Hill Dam that was removed. That is something that we've engaged DEP on, and we are hoping to have some progress to report on that. We have a call with them on September 3rd.
Oh, great.
So, and again, Jennifer O'Mara's office has been really helpful, and our township staff has just, they've really been working hard, and we have residents over there that are definitely impacted by
They're impacted, but you also have residents that are also really involved in the Earl Dam and what to do, and regularly meeting about it and talking about it, which is great.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Well, next big storm. If you see a big road of water, please do not drive through it.
Yeah, and if not for your own self, but also for our first responders, because they're the ones that have to come rescue you.
They do, absolutely.
And we've done a lot to help improve the equipment and whatnot that they have in order to do that. But don't put them in harm's way either. So
I agree. Well, thanks, Lisa. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to keep all of the residents up to date on what's happening around Radnor Township. If you are a Ward 4 resident and have any questions for Lisa, feel free to email her at lborowski@radnor.org. Again, lborowski, BOROWSKI@radnor.org. Also, just want to do a quick little plug for, well, we've got two things to talk about. One, I'm going to plug the upcoming Radnor Conservancy's Growing Our Canopy, Planting Trees for Our Future. It's our fall gala. It's happening on Friday, September 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. And it's going to be at Chanticleer Gardens this year.
Very nice. I have my tickets.
Yeah, I have my tickets. The last time the event was actually at Chanticleer, it sold out. And it's, as we all know, it's such a treasure to have that garden in our township. So it's always a great event. It's a great way to support the Conservancy, who, really gives back to the township through a number of initiatives. So if you can, go to the website to buy your tickets, and hope to see you there. Yeah.
Very good. Oh, should I plug the Willows?
Yeah, plug the Willows.
We
just a few minutes.
So the Willows Park Reserve is having they're having an event on September 21st. I believe the time is 5 to 7. Also, I think at the Willows, it's a fundraiser. They're working to restore it. The Willows Park Reserve is the nonprofit that is working to restore the mansion. And make it a community space. So they are having an event, and you can go to the Willows Park Reserve, to their website, and purchase tickets.
Great.
So yeah, it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, a great way to support another township, organization that is just wanting to better
and township residents.
absolutely. So again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon for our next Commissioner's Corner.